Maryland. Looks like you got a recording studio right there too.
Yeah, yeah, it's here. It's here
You
in
play
Maryland.
instruments and stuff too?
Yep, yep.
Cow. You got family, kids, married, all that?
I have a wife. Yeah, my
Married.
family's in Cali, and her family's here in Maryland. So
Your people in hold up, say that again.
my family is in Cali, Southern Cali, where I grew up. Her family is here in Maryland.
Gotta do what the wife want.
Yeah.
Move up. That's,
Thankfully, they're good folks. So it's I'm blessed.
I love it. How long you been married?
5 years.
Good for you, bro.
Yeah.
Come on in, Roundup. It's gonna be a short one today. I just wanted to introduce you guys to Kyle. Is spread the good word of business credit lines. When we refer these things, they pay us a small commission, but I've worked out a discount for you to go through our link so you can go build your business as Kyle has done with getting instant financing. We'll get to all that, Kyle, but I want to know more about you, and I want my Roundup homies to understand where you are, the mental capacity that you're at, because I've been talking to Kyle for 10 minutes, and wow. Kyle, you want some next level stuff, brother.
Yeah, gotta do
Where'd
it.
you get this from?
Get what?
This whole huge thinking stuff.
I think it's been in the back of my head for a long time,
Mhm.
and without going into a long story, I feel like different life circumstances and maybe self-limiting things have kind of closed it up for a while. And
Limiting beliefs
recent,
from your family or from what?
maybe just life experience, self-doubt. Like I said, maybe that's a longer conversation. But I think recently, over the past couple of years, it's been opened up a series of choices I've made of who I'm surrounding myself with has
Mhm.
opened it back up, and I've gotten new information and also kind of revived that old, kind of passion inside of me to really just think farther and bigger and stuff and books and stuff like that. So specifically, Eric Thomas is probably the first, like,
I love it.
ETA, that whole community,
I
getting in
love it.
there, getting absorbed, getting involved, investing, in
I
the
love it.
community and learning. I was telling you, I do personal development coaching, studying the extreme execution assessment and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's like a ton of stuff
Yes.
like that. That led to Jamal King and getting into real estate there,
Oh,
which
yep.
led me to Natalie Peralta and Terrion Whitlock, Investors Mentor. They have a weekly call that I've been on and just absorbed a ton of information and inspiration from them,
That
involved in
is
other
so
groups. So
cool.
I've been investing pretty heavy, and I think and getting back into to books that kind of get my mindset just on another level, because I
Mhm.
and just clarifying the vision of, like, where do I want to be, like, what does that really look like, what is that really going to take, and do I want, how much stress do I want to be in when I'm there, and the answer is zero. You know what I mean?
Hold on, man. You gotta have some stress. I can't let you off the hook that easy.
Yeah, maybe not zero, but you know what I mean. Minimized, so that
Minimize
it's
stress.
sorry, it's the stress that I want to either push myself forward, or the stress that I want because I'm trying to bring something out in the world. You know what I mean? Which takes resistance anyway,
That's
but it's
true.
my resistance rather than somebody else's,
Putting it on you.
if that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm happy for you, Kyle. Round up. Come on in. Come on in. I got one of my channel members here. What's going on? See, Alexander Holmes. Thank you so much for being our one of our members. Members' questions get answered first. If you want to join and help me to bring people like Kyle on to share the good word, there's a join button right down below. That just costs you a Starbucks coffee a month, but it helps me to continue to find out and seek out people like Cal
Mm.
doing some amazing things. Cal Anderson.
Alexander.
Alexander, I'm bugging.
Yeah,
Kyle Alexander. Sorry about
it's
that.
all good.
Good to
Yeah.
see you, my friend.
Yeah. Likewise.
Roundup. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. So today I want to share with you, well, Kyle is going to share with you his story. The man blew my mind for the last 10 minutes. I'm just listening to him talk. I'm like, my goals are too small. My goals are too small.
Uh,
Alexander. So Kyle is going to drop, not only, I want him to talk about his life a little bit and how he was able to secure these business credit lines. And we're going to give you an opportunity where you can go to actually see how much you get approved for too. Is that cool? Kyle Alexander, tell me the background story. Where are you? Give us a little bit about you, my friend.
Yeah, I wanted to just take a quick second to just express appreciation to you, Chris, for everything that you're doing. You know, I've been following you for a while, and I just appreciate your passion and your heart. It's like it's very clear like why you do this and the impact that you're having, the importance of like your mission of financial literacy for people to just know stuff that we typically aren't exposed to,
Aren't and
you
never
know,
will be.
and the passion that you show to just really appreciate what you're doing.
Wow.
So
Thank you so much,
had to
Kyle. I
had to
really
had to
appreciate you saying that.
get that through. So the
I don't
question
hear
is,
that at all. Can you tell my wife I do help people? Can you tell her that one?
yeah, yeah,
Go ahead.
let me know. What's the first thing you want to know? I
Your
guess.
background, brother. Your music. I love music. Like everybody's always promoting sports, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about sports. My background's music. You know, I've been in the music business, so I feel like I'm like a
yeah,
kindred spirit with you. So give us your
yeah,
background, how we got here.
yeah. So background. So I grew up in Southern Cali, kind of
Southern
surrounded
Cal.
by music my whole life. Started with drums, basically drums and percussion, like concert percussion,
Mhm.
snare drum and stuff like that. I got pretty good at that. Got a drum set and taught myself drums in high
Wow.
school. And then once I got to college, I basically got a new instrument every year. So freshman year, I had my first computer that I started making beats, got pretty good at that, and got a bass guitar. Next year, got acoustic guitar. Next year,
Oh
got
my
electric
Lord.
guitar. Got a little bootleg like violin or something like that off eBay. You know, I was just exploring stuff and kind of built up different skills around music. You know, around sound engineering and live sound has kind of been my trade, I guess, so to speak.
Sweet.
Got pretty good at that, and also have been recently. Well, I was teaching for a while, so education, uplifting people, helping people grow in whatever form or fashion has been just a part of me for a long time. You know,
Mhm.
so I was teaching music lessons. I substitute taught in a couple counties in Maryland,
Mhm.
and now I've transitioned to, you know, elevating to the point of okay, I need to pursue this passive income to be able to free
Passive
me up
income.
so I can be my full self in the world
Yep.
without concern about money and pour
Yep.
into the music, pour into educating people, pour into, you know, creating, executing on ideas that I have and businesses, products, and
I love it.
yeah.
I
So
love it. It's a
mhm.
big difference when you're trying to figure out how to pay bills. I don't know where you were younger. I was struggling trying to figure it out. You don't have the opportunity to think about bigger things or even ideas like that you implement. How the hell can you implement an idea when you got to worry about the power? I keep telling my daughters, I used to live in a house, no heat, water
Yeah,
get cut off, you know. So I'm glad you're bringing that to the community, my friend. We need that.
it's that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know what I
Hierarchy
mean?
needs.
It's like that
Yeah,
the physical and you know, and
goes
what
on up.
a lot of what Eric Thomas talks about is like get to that top one as soon as you can, as
Mhm.
far as that self actualization, and
Sweet.
everything will work its way down. You know, so
Good.
yeah,
Good. You talking. You talking. So
yeah,
you're in the music business. You're doing that stuff. So now you finally realize, like, not all of us, like good entrepreneurs do. You only have X amount of hours in the day, and you have to figure out assets and other things that are going to make money while you're also making money too. But other things can work harder than you can. So
yeah,
now we're here trying to figure that out and investing and get into
yep,
your credit lines. Go.
yep, yep.
So, what made you think about, or even looking to get business credit lines? What put that on your radar?
So yeah, so again, like kind of this transition of from Eric Thomas to, and I found out about Jamal King. He has
Hmm.
a real estate program, so I joined that,
Yep.
learned, and it got exposed to Terry Cowser, who's like
Mm.
huge in business credit. Definitely recommend anybody to. She's like a wealth of information,
Got it.
and that led me to again, like I said, Natalie Peralta, Investors Mentor, and that
Sweet.
they have that weekly group, and they've been talking about business credit and stuff. And Ernest Epps, just like surrounding myself with people that are just have this information. And
Yes.
basically, I heard about Fund and Grow from a friend in there, and then
Hmm.
I saw it on one of your videos, and you were talking about it,
Yep.
and that's when I decided to jump in on that. And I guess specifically for me, I know with how I'm trying to structure my life, I want to be as turnkey as possible, but also be able to learn as much as I can along the way.
What does that
Have
look
to
like?
make,
Break that down a little bit, Kyle, because I don't.
yeah,
I want
so
to make
so
sure you explain
basically,
this
so
wrong.
basically, for the business credit specifically, because the call that I'm on, like I said, Investors Mentor, they're talking about these strategies of how to achieve it, their experiences and raising up to these big levels
Mhm.
of the path of, okay, I'm going to put in the work myself and go and do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And to me, the at the time that I decided to do it, Fund and Grow was an option where it's like, okay, they're going to be able to do X, Y, and Z and do most of the path for you.
Mhm.
And you can kind of oversee and kind of know what's going on in the process and insert yourself, you know? So
Gotcha.
so that was the big difference for me, and who's to say maybe I would learn more if I did it the other way, but I have other areas of my life where I'm in the fire like that and grinding and learning stuff like that. So it's like I have to pick and choose where I put my resources to be able to kind of get back from that.
Yeah, you don't want to be trying to figure out how to build a house and trying to figure out how to, fix an engine car. I mean, it's so you could obviously put your time into whatever you want to. What's
Mhm.
best for you,
Yeah, 100%,
right?
100%.
So Kyle has been through one of our vendors, supporters. I would say Fund and Grow. They're my people. They call us all the time. We send them. I think we've probably had over 3 million funded. I don't even know. And Kyle is one of the beneficiaries for them. And what I have done is actually through my relationship with them, negotiated a slight discount for y'all. And if you don't want to hear us blab about it, you can go ahead and get signed up. The link is in the video description. But Kyle, I'd like for him just to explain the process, see how we did it. Because I know some of you guys are like, how in the hell do I come up with the money to buy a piece of real estate or even to expand my business, get some training, hire somebody, pay for materials, all that stuff could be a possibility. Kyle, can you do all that can you use business credit lines for that too?
Yes, you can. And I would just say, obviously, you want to make sure and have like your strategy together for how you're using it, which I guess one of the benefits of Fund and Grow and some of these strategies for business credit is like if you can get it at 0%, interest, to be able to put that into something and then know or be able to plan out, okay, how soon am I going to get this back? So I have like a spreadsheet that I'm planning out as best as I can, as far as like, okay, how do I keep this part of the credit that I have available,
Mhm.
use it up until a certain point and know, okay, maybe I can transfer over to here. There's some juggling and stuff like that I guess I've had to do for my own self,
Mhm.
while they are kind of pursuing some of these accounts. And I'm learning a lot about the process of when can you do things. And like I said, Investors Mentor, they talk about doing things in batches a lot and, knowing which credit bureaus and stuff. So I'm
Wow.
kind of learning more about stuff like that along the way,
Mhm.
to be able to know, like put both strategies together almost.
Hmm. So tell me about the process from the beginning, and I want to talk about what you said about 0% interest too. That's deep.
Yeah.
Tell us about the process. How does it work?
Yep. So basically you got signed up and they do a process where it's like onboarding to get where you are.
Hmm.
If you have a business or if you're approaching it from just scratch from a personal standpoint, and they have ways to build it up so that you can go in as a sole proprietor if you want, or go in from an LLC.
I
It
got
just
some
so
deep
happened
stuff, yo.
it just so happened that I had an LLC.
Already.
I had an LLC already.
Okay.
Yep, that I'd started. Just some information I got from somebody that said, okay, start the LLC and get the
Hmm.
history going. And I
Gotcha.
tried to do some business credit stuff on my own, or like basically you have to set up your LLC in a way that it looks fundable on paper. That's like a
Hmm.
huge thing, that it's looks solid. So I was
Hmm.
kind of working on some of that stuff before I ran into Terry Kauser's information and all that stuff. So I had that initially, and I actually used a company to get business credit, like a 680 program or something. And if
Okay.
you have a 680 credit score or more, then you can do something similar. But basically they charge a flat fee for whatever you got. Flat fee,
Got
sorry,
it.
a percentage of whatever you got
Okay.
was the charge one time.
Got
So
it.
the big difference with Fund and Grow is if you're paying for the year, then they're basically saying we're going to get as much as we can, which is typically like 3 rounds worth
Hmm.
for the year, and it's a flat fee for that. So already, I guess kind of skipping ahead, with what I've been able to get in this first round, I've already kind of eclipsed the value for what I paid for the other
Yeah.
one, because
Oh, okay.
the other one was a percentage, and this one now is a flat fee, and now we have more rounds coming up.
Yeah, because I'm like, wow, 160K. I'm like, that's not just an everyday. That's something to be first of all proud of, and I think people think that they can do this on their own, but the relationships that Fund and Grow has, I'm like, they can call up the under. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't pick the phone up, dude, and call these underwriters up.
Yeah. So and the thing is, you can do it, but it takes a lot. It takes a certain type of person. Like I said, the people that I've been meeting with on this call, they're doing it.
Oh, okay. They're doing it.
And they call and they write down what was the response for, okay, which credit bureaus do you do? Call the next person and
Gotcha.
And know and have a strategy. It's possible to do, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's one of those things that, like everything, is like, how much energy are you gonna put out in order to get that?
But Kyle, it's possible to build a house with a hammer.
Yeah,
It's possible to walk to, the next city. I mean, you can cut your grass with but I mean, anyway, man.
Yeah.
I guess my point is, few dollars, you got 160 grand. Tell me about the experience with Fund and Grow, brother. Was it, how does that look from a 40,000-foot view?
Yeah. So they're taking your information basically. Once everything is lined up, then they go through and they do the process of reaching out to the different banks, and they kind of based on your situation and your credit score. That was the other thing that I have to say is personal credit from this standpoint is important, for achieving business credit, because they're looking at you as a personal guarantor for these cards. So my situation, for whatever reason, I was just really careful about my credit my whole life.
Okay.
and thankfully my wife has been as well. So our scores are both high.
Okay.
So whatever advantage that did, to me, that would be the first step, is to work on that first.
So before you even think about any of this business stuff, you should possibly make sure you check your personal credit.
Yes. And I would say not necessarily before, because I think it's good to know the plan and the strategy of where you're going with the business credit kind of at the same time, but it's definitely one of those steps. And not to say that you can't do anything, like I said, if you obviously if you're below like a 680 for that program I did first, then you wouldn't be able to do that. So you'd work your way up to that point. You know what I mean? But it's something that you want to, I think the more, I don't know how much it played into the amounts that we got as far as our personal credit history and scores. You know what I mean?
It still played a part though, because you got no doubt and your credit's good. What is your picture of what you want to do with your credit lines? Because I don't want people just getting them, and then spending this money on consumable goods, stuff that's eaten up, stuff you wear, trips and all that stuff.
No way. So in particular, my plan was to I've actually used some of it to invest actually in groups and programs and education around real estate strategies.
Good.
So rather than having to come out of our own pocket, I use some of that for that, knowing that if I can loop it around and take action on it with enough time, I might even be able to recoup that money without having to start paying interest, because the 0% interest typically for 9 months, maybe a year, maybe a little bit more. So whatever you can execute on in that time, as long as you can pay the monthly payment, which again is like typically 1% of the whole amount. So 1% a month, if you can get that and find a way to get there, So
0%.
Aside from that, I use some of it also to purchase real estate. So as a part of the down payment, I use a part of that. We have like a flip that's in Chicago that we purchased that we're rehabbing now. So part of that down payment came from that. So ideally, if things go through and we get to the tail end and can get the recoup, then I'll basically pay off what I use there and not really technically not have come out of pocket at all.
Interest.
You know what I mean? It's just a matter of that. And I also left a buffer amount in the amount that I took out, so that I could actually pay the card with the amount that I took out. Like
you still have some equity left on the cards.
Like liquidated some of the cards, so I could actually make my monthly payment, that 1% payment, with some of the amount that I had left over. Just to kind of
unbelievable
to buffer that. So
let me reintroduce you, Kyle Alexander Roundup. If you're just joining us, we got 85 people on here today. It is an honor to be the co-pilot with you. Kyle Alexander just got, well, not just, I mean, he's doing business credit lines, got 160,000 with my people funding grow. The link is in the video description. If you want to see how much you qualify for, Kyle, what you're doing is no money out of pocket. I don't want to say no, but if you can borrow a little extra to make your payment, 0% interest. You telling me you can buy the property, sell it before the payment? Golly, where did you come up with this? How in the world?
Like I said, the people I've been around, man, and part of that, again, it was just the value of investing in groups. I did some of that, like I said, early on with Eric Thomas. That's where kind of everything led. You know what I mean? Because one group led to another, and one thing led to another, and all that. So it's just being exposed to hearing different ideas, and to me, it's just like synthesizing those and figure out, okay, well, which ones can I execute on? Which ones fit kind of who I am, which it's another conversation. But
yeah, that's cool.
But the flight assessment, the extreme execution, and with Eric Thomas and stuff, it's telling us about who we are and natural preferences.
That's
so I've
right.
used that a lot as well to know, like, okay, which things can I gravitate towards that will fit me?
Good for
and
you.
I can find my way in easier because I'm naturally, more gifted or I have a leanings towards these particular traits.
Certain things. That's right.
So.
The disc analysis will really help you on that, man.
Yep, 100%.
So round up, please get your questions in the chat for Kyle, who just got $160,000 business credit lines. The brother's buying real estate, taking educational courses. He actually took some of the money to make the payment, even though it is 0% interest. And I didn't even know you could move it around, Kyle. You open up a lot of things that I had never even thought about, moving the debt around. Is it from zero to zero?
Yeah, so I would say, and to be honest, I'm still learning and figuring out some part of it. Yeah. But the cost of business sometimes is the liquidation.
Cost of business.
I mean? So if I have to move it from one place to another, then I might have to pay a fee in order to do it. And there's different strategies of like how to go about that. So the fee would be basically I lost out on it, but ideally, if I can recoup on the investment, I pay the fee, I get back to where I was and beyond without technically coming out of my own pocket.
Spending the money.
Yeah.
Wow. Kyle, you drop us some nuggets, bro. Sounds like you've really been trained and you took the time to understand how business. Because a lot of times I think, let me tell you what happened to me when I first got my credit lines years ago. I spent them and it was gone, and I still owe the debt. I didn't invest. I spent instead of investing. So it sounds like you've trained your mind to understand that this is investing versus spending.
Yep. 100%. I just posted a little video about that exact concept. It's like, if we're spending, nothing comes back from it. If we're investing, then something comes back. And this is with money, but also with time and with relationships.
Invest time. Don't spend time.
Don't spend time. Invest time.
I love it.
Try to get a return from it. So definitely. And the one thing I was going to say that, well, I guess we'll keep going. I can go on for a long time.
Go ahead, man. What are you going to say? Sure, you got the stage, brother.
I was trying to remember what you were talking about investing versus spending, because
we invest because when I got my lines of credit, I spent, and when I spent it, all the stuff was gone, and I still had the debt.
Yes. Okay, I remember now. So basically, the thing for me and for my personality type, I have to make sure that I'm taking action, as much action as possible, on the things that I'm investing in, especially when it comes to education. And also investing, even if it's not like, if I'm investing time in watching one of your videos, I need to make sure that I'm doing something with that can have a return, because it would turn into me just spending if I did all these courses and groups and different things and didn't have anything to show for it. And then my 0% ran out, and now I have to start paying interest on this. And you know what I mean? There obviously is still benefit from doing that. I'm a different person. I'm growing. But at the end of the day, we want to find some action to be able to take that's going to have a physical return on it.
Return, ROI, return of investment, bro.
Yep.
One Moats family, how you doing? Denise B, hey, did you use the money for gap funding to put down on your property. Kyle, could you maybe explain how did you use your business credit lines? Maybe they want a little more detail.
Yeah, and I don't know, Chris, do you have is there a different um, explanation for gap funding? I don't want to answer that incorrectly.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good question. Denise, could you be a little more
yeah,
clear regarding?
I'll answer what I think it is though, but
Okay.
just as far as like to put down on the property,
Mm-hmm.
the answer is yes. There was a portion of the business credit that I liquidated,
Sweet.
and technically, here's the other thing is, once I liquidated it and it's in my account, you know, and I'm responsible for paying off the monthly payments on the card. It's in my account. The
Mhm.
lenders that I go to see this as a part of my assets and know that I
Mm,
can qualify for a different amount. You know what I mean? And that's
100%.
and that's all money that came from there. So I
100%.
did use a portion of that money, making sure I left enough buffer for me to cover whatever expenses, holding costs that I had, you know
Mhm.
what I mean, from that credit as much as possible, and then use that as a part to actually pay down on the property. Because once I liquidated it, it was just cash. There was no, it's my decision on what to do with it.
You do whatever you need to do.
I've already eaten, like I said, cost of business. I've already eaten whatever I'm not going to get back from that. So
Mhm.
now it's just my responsibility is pay the cards off and do what I need to do with it. And I did use part of that to put down on the flip that we have
Gotcha.
underway.
All right, Denise. So you hear it there. You can use these business credit lines to buy real estate, and you can, if you want, you can just use them to pay for the construction on the real estate.
Yep.
RG, go ahead. You want to stay on there, or you want to keep moving?
One other thing I was going to say is there are actually services, and Fund and Grow does have a lot of information that they share with you about how you can go about some of these things, and they have a
Mhm.
team of people that can kind of talk to you on the phone and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So and I also heard about this trick again from an investor's mentor, but they have different services like plastic, like Melio, that you can use to actually, if you're just going to pay directly like at the closing table,
Mhm.
sometimes you can pay that from the credit card because the company can send the
Takes
payment
credit.
for you,
Yeah.
and you're also getting reward points from using the credit
Mm.
card in that way as well. So that's like a
Wow.
whole nother aspect of
You're
that.
talking. You're talking on that. So some title companies do take credit cards, so you can go right from the business credit lines to close on the
Hmm.
property,
Yep.
perhaps. Let me
Hmm.
ask.
Yep.
So round up, if you don't have business credit lines and you're looking for some financing, the link is in the video description below. Kyle just got qualified for 160. Now see how much you could qualify for. That's truly an honor to see this happen, man. This stuff couldn't happen years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, Chris, the 160 is two LLCs.
Okay, well let people
That,
know.
yep, two LLCs. So and that's under myself as a personal guarantor and
Mhm.
my wife as a personal guarantor.
You got two on there. Okay,
So two, and they a Fund and Grow allows for you to bring your partner or bring someone else in on that one package. So we've
sweet,
gotten that for just the one price that we paid for the subscription,
nice,
for the year. So
nice.
that's so I don't want to mislead people and say the 160 was just me what I got.
Okay.
At the end of the year, it could turn into that after these different rounds. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because we have to get the inquiries removed from applying for different things,
Yep.
and then you kind of get yourself situated so you can apply the next round to
Mhm.
possibly get more money. If you establish a good relationship with the bank, then they'll be more inclined to give you more money.
Mhm.
But we did that with two people, so it's
Two people.
one business, one personal guarantor, another business, another personal guarantor, and that's how we got to that
So
160 for this
it
round.
sounds like somebody they had challenged credit. They could maybe bring somebody else on with them to do to apply for the credit lines as well. Kyle, is that what that what you're
Now
thinking?
that is possible. In my case, it just kind of magnified what I could get from it, what we
Hmm.
could get from it, you
Yep.
know. But in that case, I guess it is possible that you could bring someone on, but I would direct that question to Fund and Grow directly.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the way the onboarding process is, they can talk you through that type of stuff. You
Gotcha.
can ask questions and stuff like that. So
Yeah, they're real good with that.
mhm.
RG Cortez. Hey, I don't have a business yet, but my personal credit may help. What do you suggest, Kyle? Just some of this is informational purposes only. We know you're not giving nobody business advice, but
Yeah,
what would you give them?
yeah, personal credit helps. So I would just say to start the process of starting the business, starting the LLC, and starting the steps of what does it take to look fundable, you know. And if you need help, reach out to Fund and Grow. But
Yep.
there's also on YouTube, like I said, Terry Cowser,
Mm-hmm.
like tons of information on how to do that. So if your personal credit is good, then you
Mm-hmm.
can start with that. Now, Fund and Grow may suggest, hey, we can help you as a sole proprietor. We can set up something. They have something where they can set it up for you, and you can approach it that way. So you may be able to just do business credit, so to speak, there on that side. And Chris, there's another point that I just remembered that's really
Go ahead,
important.
brother.
The business credit is really key because it does not in every case, but it does not show up on your personal credit for your utilization.
Mm.
Huge difference. So it's like, whereas if I just spent on a $20,000 card, if I spent $18,000 to buy a piece of real estate, right, or put it on a down payment,
Mm-hmm.
typically on personal credit, that 18,000 would look like I'm at 90% utilization and my credit score goes down.
Mm-hmm.
On the business side, if that card is truly a business card and you have to watch out for certain banks that actually do report to the credit, to your personal credit, but if it doesn't, it's completely separate. So that utilization, it still has an impact on the business score, but it has no impact on your personal credit score. So you can continue to do this and build this up on one side without affecting your personal credit. You know what I mean? And if you have a good strategy to pull it off, then you can just kind of keep pushing it up.
So you guarantee it personally, but it doesn't show up on your personal credit, which would not detract from your debt to income ratio, which will make your credit score go down.
Yes.
That is so crazy.
And obviously the personal guarantee, if you just default on the business credit, then they come for you. But it's not just showing up. The balance is not showing up and stuff like that. So
Roundup, y'all better not be defaulting and making the name bad in the street. I mean, listen, if you can't pay this stuff, don't get this stuff for anything you're gonna consume. If you need, I'm gonna let Cal, you tell him, man. I feel like I can't,
Chris, you confirmed it earlier. Invest, do not spend. And especially with credit, don't mess with it. Don't do anything from now on, period, if you're not getting something back from it. Just start with that mindset and then work your way back. But especially with credit, the last thing you want to do is get something that has no return on it.
There you go. Let's keep going, guys. In question, Michael, how do they determine, I guess this is Fund and Grow, how much a new business can borrow? Do you know that, Kyle?
All that I can answer, and when we say borrow, there's a difference between getting loans, like business loans, and getting credit as in credit cards, or credit as in lines of credit from a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So these are different things. So my experience with Fund and Grow so far has been for business credit cards.
Gotcha.
So you're getting approved for a credit card for a certain amount, and those credit cards add up to a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
So my answer to the question, I guess, is the credit cards that you get, you can borrow as much as you want from the credit card because it's your credit card. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How much limit that they give you, that's what I'm not sure. How much of that is based on my personal credit or on the business itself, if the business looks established. They told me that the business doesn't necessarily matter as much. It could be brand new and stuff like that if your personal credit is really supporting that operation.
Yeah, I think it's really
so the amount is based on your personal credit and based on the bank itself, because they may decide, hey, we're only going to give you 2,500, which in some cases is one of the cards that we got, or they may decide, hey, we're going to give you 30,000. And it's up to them based on their criteria. And I think you can just deliberately ask them what their criteria is. If you're bold enough to just go and do that, you can call the bank and ask about that, speak to the business consultant and stuff, or you leave it to Fund and Grow to do it.
I know their relationships, and I know the CEO, the dudes. So I mean, these dudes have been dealing with these banks for years. CVP Junior, I appreciate this. Don't usually make live, but glad today. My wife and I have cash, but personal credit is under 680. Hers is above 700 though. What do you think, Kyle?
I think it's up to you, because the point is you definitely want to be building your personal credit, period. So just start today on whatever that is. Mm-hmm. As far as your personal plan, you could decide, okay, well, let's have wife go in and start this process, and get whatever we can get so we can start doing things with that. Or if you don't have an LLC, then like the other person asked, maybe the first thing you need to do is start the LLC and start building that in the right way.
Yeah.
So you could
Good idea.
decide whether you want to just take action and start building stuff, or if you want to wait
Build
and
up.
get yourself together so you can go in together and have it like that. But
I thought they had doesn't Fund and Grow have a credit repair arm too?
I
where they can-
believe so. I believe so. But obviously, like I said, because I came into it with good credit, I'm not even aware of like what they offer.
Good credit. I got that good credit. I'm good. I don't have to worry about that.
Uh,
Kyle, you crazy. Roundup, if you're just joining us, I'm hanging out with my man Kyle. Just got him and his wife just got a large business credit line. I wanted him to share his story. If you need to get some type of a cash input into your business immediately for 2022 to get rocking and rolling, the link is in the video description. I have personally, with the CEO, negotiated a discount for you. If you go through our link, it'll be an honor to serve you. The honor to serve you. Al wants to know, this is a good strategy, but do you need 2-year business? Does the business need two-year history, Kyle?
so there's a difference, and I think people need to understand. It's like there's two roads to business credit. One is this unsecured business credit that's completely dependent on the EIN and the business itself. Nothing to do with your personal, which I would think is a good goal to pursue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's totally on the business. And that is kind of more the business history, the sales and all these, the numbers and stuff like that. The business credit score itself. And there are strategies to build up your business credit score by itself. You know, you sign up for these different vendors and build your history and your relationship. So what we're talking about, again, with my experience with Fund and Grow, this is the personal guarantee side to start off with. So if I'm not saying, and that's what I'm saying, because I had a business already, it was 2019. So it's probably about 2 years, 2 years and some change, the end of 2019. So I don't know how much that impacted how much they decided to give me, but ultimately it's based on your personal credit, your personal situation.
Gotcha.
How much they're gonna do. So some people, I would believe, and I think Fund and Grow can actually encourage you to just open one.
They can help you.
Yeah, they can help you to open like an LLC or something like that if you wanted to do that. And there are different like factors that maybe 6 months of ownership might change the bank's view of it. But starting out, it's technically is your personal credit is the basis for what's going on.
I've seen Fund and Grow do things like pay off debt over there to make the credit reporters report debt. I mean, I've seen them do some crazy stuff, brother. I didn't know they have a funding company that will pay off debt to raise your score.
That's crazy.
It's really amazing what they can do.
Yeah.
Stacy, nice picture. Nice smile there. It's awesome. How much is this a year? She's got good credit and an LLC. She's ready.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, I don't want to speak incorrectly, but it's around 3,000.
Yep, $3,500 is $4,000 if you go to their website. If you use our code, it's $34.97.
Yep.
Come on through that link in the video description.
So you knew that answer. You just put me on the spot, Chris.
I gotta put you on the spot, dog. One of my channel members who no, he isn't. I'm sorry. I thought it was.
I don't reply back.
That's his name. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't want to reply back. I had some money for you, dog. Not gonna reply. Anthony wants to know, is that a deer? Kyle, do you have a business plan?
Do you have to have a business plan? I would say no. And some information that I learned recently, I think it was like CEO First Lady on Instagram. The business plan thing is like SBA loans. And if you're getting into that sort of thing, like, those government loans and stuff like that. And possibly that's the only thing that I know of, because even the business credit, I've never heard anyone talk about a business plan. They just want to see the numbers of what you've actually done. But SBA loan and stuff, you do need a business plan. There's like funding out there to actually get to do a ton of stuff if you have that, but you need to show what you're planning and what you're doing, especially if you don't have a track record yet, then you have to have it pretty tight.
Yeah. One Moats family. How long did you have your business established before you applied, Kyle?
Yep. So I think we addressed that, but it's because we had 2 LLCs. The first one was since late 2019, so 2 years and some change.
That's still from my perspective, that's relatively new. I mean, we've been doing this.
It's pretty new. It's pretty new. So the other LLC that we used was a months old, 4 months or
Months
something
old.
like that.
Gotcha.
From
Good.
yeah. So
Sweet. Okay, we got 80 people here. Kyle, want to hear what thus saith Brother Kyle. M. Sway, what if I bought a business and it has a clean LLC? Would that be an advantage? Maybe Kyle would know. I do not know.
yeah, I don't want to pretend that I know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I think that the age of the business, what I've heard recently, the age of the business is not as important as the
Credit.
activity and the production. What have you actually done? You know what I mean? So I heard
With Fund and
recently.
Grow, do they even look at the? I mean,
Oh yeah, sorry. With Fund, this is like outside of Fund and Grow. So
we're talking
yeah,
about strictly Fund and Grow with our company.
yeah. So as far as Fund and Grow, I don't know that there's an advantage outside of, like I said, I don't know if the banks have some calculation to treat businesses that have been longer differently when it comes to how much they decide to give you. But as far as I know, for this Fund and Grow process, I don't know that is necessarily an impact. But the answer to the question of bigger rounds of business credit, if you're outside of this process, bigger rounds of business credit come from some of those things: business history, what are the sales, what are the actual
Yeah,
leads,
that's a total another.
that's
Yeah,
a different thing.
that's total different. M. Sway, we're just talking about getting strictly business credit lines and getting you started, my friend. Those lines you're talking about now, you're talking about huge credit lines where businesses they turn in set gross sales and they have tax returns to show all that stuff, and that's not what this is for here. RG Cortez, what if you mess up your business credit? How could you recover, Kyle?
Hopefully I never find out. Hopefully I never find out. But I think I don't want to pretend to know the answer to that question. I think you, like anything else, if you mess up a relationship with someone else, you have to work to build it back. So
Yep.
if it's messed up, you'd have to show proven time after time you're
Takes
paying,
time.
you're responsible for what you did. You know what I mean? Like you have to build it back up. But beyond
Takes
that,
time.
I don't know.
Good one. Thanks for me. I love your transparency because I have no idea either.
Yeah.
Flexibility. Michael wants to know which path is more flexible. Lines of credit, which this is credit lines or credit cards. Kyle, you can answer that.
Yeah. So again, the difference, like Chris was just saying, outside of this conversation is kind of about credit cards. I assume that it can lead to banking relationships that can lead to lines of credit. Fund and Grow may actually be able to help people with lines of credit. I don't know, but lines of credit is a different situation. And lines of credit, I think, is a better goal to have because of the interest rate, even when you are paying interest, is lower. And I've just heard good things about lines of credit, and that's like the bigger thing to target. But I don't think you could just jump into a line of credit without established history and stuff like that. So credit cards, I think it's like, because it's what you can access sooner, I think it technically that has more flexibility because it's easier to obtain, if that makes sense.
Sweet. Kyle Alexander in Maryland. Poor thing, from California to Maryland. I'm like, man, gotta go back out there.
Chris, I
Huh?
was gonna say I committed to daily exercise.
Oh, really?
And I've been on since November 1st, every day, as very simple and as short and effective as possible, but 15 minutes outside, as fast as I can walk, go halfway and come back and get back in 15 minutes, right, for my cardio. Then stretch, do some strength training inside the house. But I've been doing that regardless of the temperature. So but my record was a couple of days ago, and I looked at the phone, it was like 16 degrees.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
all
we got
right,
that
we got
storm.
this. Just put on some extra, put on another, hoodie and some extra layer and be good to go. So
I'm so happy for you, Kyle.
working it out.
Every time I go out in the sun, bad weather, my mentor used to say, the weather doesn't care about your health.
Yeah.
Doesn't care. So get your butt out there and make it happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say get healthy if it's good weather. It doesn't say get healthy if it's not raining. So Kyle, I want you to just explain. We're right here at final thoughts, but round up if you haven't. We're with Kyle Alexander in Maryland. They just secured him and his wife secured a business credit line, and he's buying real estate, doing a bunch of things with it. I'm bringing him on because I want him to share with you that this is real. A lot of people are like, "This business credit, can you really do it?" Kyle's living proof. Living proof. So if you want to find out how much you qualify for with my people's funds and grow, fund and grow, the link is in the video description. I've personally negotiated a $500 discount on the service. You will get that as long as you go through our link. Hold up, a question came in. Thinking like oh, Jamal, what if someone started a business 5 years ago and still active with no profit? I think it's just the fact that you have it. Don't you have to have a business when you apply, Kyle? Whether it's new, don't they they can open up a new one for you there too, can't they?
I believe so. I believe so. But because of my situation, like I said, since
didn't
mine
have
were
to.
already established, I didn't have to. But I
Mhm.
guess the answer to the question, active with no profits, can one side get a business loan? Do you understand the last part of that, Chris?
Nah, Jamal, be a little more clear on that one because Kyle didn't necessarily get a business loan. He got
Yeah.
business credit lines.
Yeah, and again, I can't speak to that fully. All that I've heard, if you're talking about business loans and stuff like that, then you do need to show activity, not just longevity.
Mhm.
It's numbers and stuff like that, not necessarily
Gotcha.
that it's been active. But as far as fund and grow goes, I don't think that would impact that at all. It would be a benefit that you have something set up
Yeah,
that you can jump into if that makes the best sense for you and your tax situation.
there you
Consult
go.
your tax professional.
Kyle, anybody that wants to get in touch with you, do business with you, possibly partner and sell you some real estate or do whatever, how do they get in touch with you, my friend?
Yeah, so the best way right now is Instagram. So it's Kyle_E_Alexander on Instagram. That's the easiest way right now.
I'll put that in. I'll make sure my team puts it in the show notes.
Yep.
You said book. Give us a book that you're reading or you recommend, Kyle. I love new books.
Yeah, man. So you said just one? Can I squeeze two in?
You could do two to as many as you want. Three is fine. Whatever you want to do, bro. It's
So
your stage.
so recently, so the E Myth Revisited is one that I think
E-Myth Revisited.
the E Myth. Yeah.
The
And I
revisited version.
revisited, yeah.
All right.
I haven't read the original, so I can't compare it. But
What?
yeah, so I think that it's kind of expanded my mind to think on this plane like that we were talking about before the call of
Mhm.
like how do I think bigger, more systematically, less of me doing all the stuff and setting up something. So that one was definitely huge. And then currently going through cash flow quadrant. I
Oh
read
man.
Rich Dad Poor Dad a long time ago and didn't realize like the difference with cash flow quadrant. So I recently came back to it and it's
Huge.
been it's
Huge.
been big. Yeah.
Where your money comes from is most important. Is it passive? Is it active? Or are you doing partnership? Yeah, because passive income is taxed differently. So much stuff to learn.
Yep. Yep.
And you 36, you said?
37. Yeah.
37.
Yeah.
Your future looks bright, my friend. I'm excited for you. I love musicians. See, the thing is, I love musicians is we already understand the work ethic.
Yeah.
That's 15-hour days is like, I tell people when I came to the real estate business, it was vacation for me.
Mm.
Because no doubt, what's the average day being a musician? Just tell the people.
It's
Average day.
yeah,
Average day.
it's a lot of time between music and editing, which is like another thing that I do, audio editing and stuff like that. It's just, and I think the benefit of it, which I would encourage for anybody, is if you're doing something that you love, then the time goes by like nothing. You know what I mean? I would be caught up
Like,
easily for 10, 15 hours, working on something, but it's not work. And I would just add to that, if you're doing something that you don't love, but it's for the reason that you want to pursue, then just try to attach
why?
that feeling to what you're currently doing
The
so you
why.
can push yourself through the why. The why.
Gotta have a why. Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't nobody till I had a why. I want to raise my people's financial literacy. You ain't nothing to you. You're not nothing, but it's easier to go to work every day. You got a why. Why do you do this, Kyle?
Man,
You got
because
kids?
I don't have kids. I don't have kids.
What
So
keeps you to grind?
yeah. So I guess the legacy is just wanting to see change in the world, wanting to live up to my highest self, because I feel like the world's going to be a better place
Mm,
with the stuff that comes out of me once I have the freedom to just put all my energy into it and the relationships, whether that's music, whether it's, like I said, I'm coaching people as well, personal development, uplifting people, or just kind of raising people's minds in whatever way. Business products that can help people do things easier, books and movies and like all this stuff. The why for why this is so important for me right now is right now, and maybe Chris, you'll tell me some stuff offline, maybe a different path or whatever. But right now, as far as what I know, this is a good way to secure my life so I don't have to worry about money. So I can just pour everything into, like I said, just being my full self and seeing the fruits of what happens with that and just uplift people.
I love it. I love it. Round up, man. Kyle Alexander, my friend, it's a pleasure to hang out with you. Round up, the man is doing some amazing things. He got Airbnb, got flip property going on. 37 years old, young buck. I can't wait to see what this year has for you in store, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, round up homies. If you haven't yet, go ahead and head on over. If you need to get qualified for business credit lines, the link's in the video description below. I've negotiated a discount for you, so make sure you come through us. Like this content, share with anybody else that you think could possibly benefit from getting a business credit line. Subscribe to the channel. We're at 91,000 subs. I need your help. We're trying to get to 100,000 people served, subscribers this year. We will do that. I got a big photo shoot planned for me and the fam. You'll finally see my wife. She never comes on. So once we cross 100, you'll see my wife on the video. So, Kyle, I'll see you next time, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, round up. Peace. Oh, the links below. Just go below, James.